DigitalA11Y Insights, your accessibility partner. Accessibility for all, technology for everyone.
Come to our second session. And before we start, any questions from last week? Pranita, you have questions?
I lost in between.
No, do you have any questions?
No, Radhika. I'm good.
No, okay.
No, I'm good. I'm saying.
Okay. So everyone installed the plugins, both plugins?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Radhika.
Your screen sharing, desktop, search out, Google, WhatsApp, Google, accessibility tools and resources for designers bullet, Minacala for Google document, search combo box.
Okay, we installed two plugins. One is Axe DevTools. The other one is Tablets. First, Axe DevTools will talk. Axe is an open source framework, JavaScript library. It's a small JavaScript library and it has all the accessibility rules that can be automated. It's created by DQ Systems and it's very widely used, like Microsoft, Google, and a lot of other frameworks. So it's very widely used across the ecosystem of accessibility. There are other open source rule engines like IBM Equal Access Toolkit, but Axe is the pioneer in this rule set. And the interesting and amazing part about Access, it's zero false positives. Like we don't get no false positives in the report that it generates with regard to automation. So any accessibility testing, audit, or assessment. So these are the three words that you need to understand. Some people call accessibility testing, some people call accessibility audit, some people call accessibility assessment. Generally, there's not much of a difference when it comes to performing an audit or assessment or testing. But how you record these issues, what kind of level of support you provide. When you come to industry roles, like you're an accessibility consultant, accessibility tester, there are differences. We'll talk about that as we progress in the sessions. And we'll explore Axe DevTools, which is a free Chrome extension. The free scans allow us to scan the web page, but we cannot save it because that is only in the pro version of it. But we can use the free version very optimally every day to see how a page is progressing in terms of accessibility. This particular thing does only scanning for single page. Remember, like whichever page we open it, it scans only that page. Right now, it has. I think they have extensions for Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. All the browsers, most of the browsers, and all the issues that it shows, we can see where it gives the summary of the issue. It gives the description. It gives us the how to fix also, and it gives the code snippet where that particular issue is as of now in the code. And it has two things. One is the only failures along with best practices. We'll explore both of them today. Any questions still here?
No questions, Raghav. It's very clear.
Okay.
Toolbar.
Not
Flipkart.com. Online shopping site for
So I chose Flipkart over here just as an example because if you're not aware, Flipkart is the largest e-commerce platform in India, and it's owned by Walmart. So yeah, so we're going to use Axe DevTools, and Axe DevTools opens in the DevTools part of the Chrome. So for people who don't know what is DevTools, just press F12, screen reader users. A particular window pane opens where all the developer console is there. Like you can see the CSS, you can see the JavaScript, HTML, everything that is there in the code, you can see it in the DevTools area. It's called developer tools. That's why it's called DevTools. And Axe DevTools also opens in the developer console. And people who are using screen readers, this will be specific to them. People who are using mouse, I'm sure you'll be able to follow and see what is critical. And screen reader users, I'm going to jump through some of the steps. Like you should be able to install it straight from the Chrome store. Go there, click on install, and you get the Chrome extension. Once you have the Chrome extension, refresh your page and then press F12. If you press F12,
DevTool, Alert DevTools is docked to left, DevTools document, Elements panel property page DOM tree explorer main landmark side panel toolbar navigation landmark styles tab selected computed tab layout tab event listener.
I press Control to stop it. So it says DevTools has opened, and it gave me a hint that DevTools is docked to left. So you can open the DevTools in a new window altogether. You can open it in the same window, either to the left or to the right, or in the bottom of the screen also. To make it sure that it is available during the screen share for everyone, I docked it to the left during a webinar and I kept it there because now it is visible even in screen share. When I do it in the bottom, it is not visible. So keep that in mind. So last week we learned about going to the top of this. So since I'm using screen reader, I'm going to press Control Home.
Main toolbar navigation landmark toggle button not pressed. Select an element in the page to inspect it.
Don't touch anything, just press Tab.
Toggle device toolbar toggle button not pressed. Toggle device toolbar Control plus Shift plus M.
Just press Tab again.
Panels tab Control. Elements tab selected 1 of 1.
So if you are in the bottom, you'll see other also. Here I docked it to the left. So I see only one tab. You have to come to this Elements tab and then just press down arrow.
Menu selected sub menu. Console 1 of 11. Sources 2 of 11. Performance Insights 3 of 11. Network 4 of 11. Performance 5 of 11.
So if it is docked to the left or if you open it in a new window, these all will come as tabs.
Memory 6 of 11. Application 7 of 11. Security 8 of 11. Lighthouse 9 of 11. Recorder 10 of 11. Axe DevTools 11 of 11.
You see here, it is here, Axe DevTools. So I'm going to press enter.
Tabs. Axe. Alert catch more issues with Pro. Try for free, no payment required. Link opens in a new window. Try for free, no payment required. Link opens in a new window. Try for free, no payment required.
A lot of verbose information that's being given, but I think it's asking us to try the Pro version for free.
Section focused.
And so let's see with headings. So I'm going to press H. We learned about heading structures last week. I'm going to press H.
Frame main landmark. Let's get started. Heading level 2. Start an intelligent guided test. Heading level 2. No next heading. Let's get started. Heading level 2.
So I go back to the I did Shift H. I came here. So primarily as a screen reader user, when you open Axe DevTools, you click, you get that hint. Look for the button called Scan.
Scan all of my page button.
That is the only button you need if you have a free version of it. Okay, I'm pressing Scan.
Analyzing your page. Overview tab selected guided tests tab test name heading level 2 save test button test URL heading level 2 rerun scan button HTTP. Navigate out of menu bar main landmark tab selected overview.
So how did I know that it finished scan? I did not get any hint, but my focus is on this overview. That means those tabs came just now. So that means scan is done. Just press H again.
Test name heading level 2.
We don't need that.
Test URL heading level 2.
We don't need that.
Total issues heading level 2.
We need this one. Come to this heading.
Link total issues 61.
So if you say it says link, I'm just pressing down arrow here for screen reader users.
List with 4 items automatic issues. Link automatic issues 61. Guided issues 0.
So guided is part of the Pro plan.
Out of list with 2 items best practice. Link best practice 22.
So if you see, I switched on the best practices here. So it says best practices 22. So we'll understand thoroughly what are best practices versus failures.
Out of list with 8 items critical. Link critical 1. Serious. Link serious 37. Moderate. Link moderate 11.
So even if I press tab, they come as, since they are links, they get tab focus. I'm just using down arrow now.
Minor. Link minor 12. Out of list complementary landmark switch on best practices.
So if you see,
WCAG2 switch on best practices.
it's switched on. If I switch it off, I can switch it off.
List with 8 complementary landmark best practices. Switch on. Off. Off.
So I switched it off. So sighted people can see that all the best practices are removed from. Now, if I go on to the top,
Total issues heading level 2. Link total issues 39.
you observed how the best practices, when they are removed, the number of issues have changed. So do you want to test with best practices or do not? First address all the failures. We can come to best practices later. If you have a question on that one. The failures are more critical. And here they have given which, with how many issues failing critical, how many in minor, how many in serious. So I switched off the best practice.
Complementary landmark best practices. Switch.
So how do you know that as a screen reader user, if you the best practices is switched on or switch off? Just press X, which is your checkbox key. You go to the switch button there.
WCAG 2.1 AA. Button unavailable. You must save your test to share it. Button export. Button expanded toggle collapse.
So this is all these features are only in the pro version. You can't export anything in free.
Heading level 2 issues. Total issues 39.
So here are all the issues. So what I'm doing is I'm pressing B here. Observe what happens.
Elements must meet minimum color contrast ratio thresholds 35. Region elements must meet minimum color contrast ratio thresholds 35. Button collapsed.
So these are all like, expand collapse element, which is like accordions. Imagine, you have a list of cupboards that you have to pull out and push in. Accordions are like that. You pull something and everything in that falls down. And once you push up, it just collapses back.
ID attribute value must be unique to region. ID attribute value must be unique to button collapsed. Links must be distinguishable without relying on color 1. Region links must be distinguishable without relying on color 1. Button collapsed. Zooming and scaling must not be disabled. 1. Region zooming and scaling must not be disabled. 1. Button collapsed. No next button. Links must be distinguishable without relying on color 1. ID attribute elements must meet minimum color contrast ratio.
If you see not many, only color contrast, zoom, links, and everything related to color and ID. Not many. Okay, but if we switch on the best practice, let's see.
Complementary landmark best practices switch on.
We switched it on.
You must save your test. Export button. Toggle collapse button. Elements must meet minimum color contrast ratio thresholds 35. Region ID attribute value must be unique. Links must be distinguishable without relying on zooming and scaling. Alternative text of images should not be repeated as text 10. Region alternative text of images should not be repeated as text 10. Button collapsed.
You see that? So
Form elements should have a visible label 1. Region form elements should have a visible label 1. Button collapsed. Document should not have more than one content info landmark 1. Region document should not have more than one content info landmark 1. Button collapsed.
we spoke about the landmarks last week.
Document should have one main landmark 1. Region document should have one main landmark 1. Button collapsed.
The document do not have a landmark, main landmark.
Ensures landmarks are unique 1. Region ensures landmarks are unique 1. Button collapsed. All page content should be contained by landmarks 8. Region all page content should be contained by landmarks 8. Button collapsed. No next button.
Those are all the best practices. So if I have to go to a particular element, let's just say something failed. Okay.
Ensure document form elements should have a visible.
I'm taking this one. Okay, I expand the content now.
Expanded.
Let's see what is that. I'm just pressing down arrow for screen reader users here.
Button expanded 1. Switch off highlight form elements should have a visible label 1 of 1. Button share issue form elements should list with 5 items. Button unavailable first issue form elements should have button unavailable previous issue 1 of 1.
If you see if there are more than one, you have the previous and next buttons to move within that.
Button unavailable next issue form button out of list ensures that every form element has a visible label and is not solely labeled using hidden labels or the title or aria describe the attributes. Link more information link opens in a new window. Form elements should have a visible label. Heading level 3 element location. Pike EE. Button inspect element form elements should have a visible label 1 of 1. Less input class equals Pike EE type equals text title equals search for products, brands, and more name equals Q. Autocomplete equals off placeholder equals search for products, brands, and more value equals greater. Heading level 3 to solve this problem, you need to fix the following. Only title used to generate label for form element. List with 5 items found. Automatically. Found. Out of list only.
You see that it told us the summary, it told us the description, it gave the code snippet where it failed. And as a screen reader user or any, even if you're using mouse, if you want to go there, Just press
Inspect element form. Elements should have a Elements panel property page. DOM tree explorer main landmark page. DOM tree view. Level 21 less input class equals pike EE type equals text title equals search for products, brands, and more name equals Q autocomplete equals off placeholder equals search for products, brands, and more value greater 1 of 2.
You see that it moves focus to that particular element. And you can do a lot of stuff here. We'll explore all those in the next coming sessions. Like we can give an ARIA label, scan the same page, and see if it still fails. We can give a visible label.
Level 20 less division class equal.
So I can move. I can see the entire code if I press submit.
Level less slash div greater. Level 20 less input type equals hidden name equals tracker value equals search greater 3 of 8.
Raghav, one question. Neha here.
Yes.
The coding and all what you are able to see, is it also accessible with JAWS or it's with
Yes,
NVDA?
it is. No, it is accessible with JAWS.
Okay.
It's the same method. If there's any difference, I'll explain it.
Okay.
Right now with JAWS and NVIDIA, it is the same.
Raghav, I have a small question.
Yes.
Yeah. For Flipkart, just I'm following what are the steps you told. Okay, but I'm getting total issue 63, but you got only 61. Why it was? Because it is the same site, same version of the act.
Is there any cookie banner or anything?
I think maybe we need
See,
to see.
it can also be personalized because I just deleted all the cookies and everything from my. It can be an it can be an advertisement also.
Understood. Now, yeah. Okay, understood. Yeah, I'll check. There are any questions. Thank you.
So if there are any images, suppose it says images do not have text. If there are buttons that will be read as just button. There is link and it does catch all of them for you.
And
so any page you open first.
Okay.
So Satish here, Shiva's
Just first do X. Yes.
See, there's an option to save the test, right?
Yes.
So can we do that like in the free version or like is it only for pro versions?
Pro. It's only for pro.
So if you want to retrieve the bugs that we have got through Acts DevTools, then we have to copy it manually, right?
Yes.
Okay.
One more thing I need to add. I think trial version for 7 days it is there, right? With the help of that, we can save that files, export that files. It only for work the 7 days trial version. When I was tried, I used this.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. So any page you open, you run Axe first because you get an idea. Like, even before you do down arrow, tab key and all, you get an idea of how the elements are laid out. And it also gives you a condition of the web page. Now on this web page, it just says, 63. If you remove the best practices, it just says 39. And out of that 39, only very few, most of them are color contrast or something. It did not say images about images. It did not say that buttons are not labeled or links are not labeled or anything, which is very interesting because until you do manual tests, you'll not really know what are the failures. Neha, people who are new to accessibility or people who are started using Axe recently, just any questions on how to navigate with screen reader? You want me to show on a different website altogether?
No, good.
Okay. So today we'll cover headings, lists, okay, and how we can So one is how we test lists and how we understand what is a list was what is not a list. Same with headings. What is a heading? What is not a heading?
Online shopping site. Visited link Flipkart.
So what happens when you go on any page, we discuss that we have to check heading structure. Now, every page in HTML, there are H1 to H6 levels. And the best practice is to have at least one H1 on the page. And that is should be the first title of the page or whichever the main content that page context is all about. So let's see if there's a H1. I went to the top of the page.
Visited link Flipkart.
And I press 1, just 1.
Content info landmark Flipkart, the one-stop shopping destination heading level 1.
Now, if you observe, it said content info landmark Flipkart, the one-stop destination.
Link protein supplements, heading level 1 Flipkart, the one-stop shopping destination.
So there's one heading level 1.
No next heading at level 1.
So there's one heading level 1, which is good. So generally what we expect, it's like any hierarchy. After H1, you should have H2. After H2, you should have H3. After H3, you should have H4. So what happens with designers is they design headings in such a way, instead of semantics, developers come with, they increase the font size. Let's just say the design team says H1 should be about 32 pixels or H2 should be 22 or 24. H4 is 18. What happens is when you're coding, you have an option, increase font size. And if you're using modern frameworks, what happens is like in the content management systems, you just have to select the text and increase the font size. And it will visually look like a heading, but it will not work for a person who is blind. It will never read as a heading. However, this comes with HTML and ARIA. ARIA means accessible rich internet application. And what happened is anything that is either not available or you want to retrofit something which is already built. Like already I have a lot of code. I can't rewrite the code. So we use ARIA. And ARIA has similarly some attributes like how HTML we have H1 tag, H2 tag and all. ARIA has also role heading. To simplify, heading structures, give it for div and span, and we will explore some of them today. Any questions still here?
Yes.
Yes, tell me.
I noticed that the H1 is in a content info landmark. I expected that the H1 of a page will be in the banner landmark, that's the header or the main. Is it okay that it's in the footer or content info?
So the landmarks on this page are not provided the right way.
Banner land.
See, they have banner landmark and they should have main landmark, but they did not do main landmark.
Content info landmark top. No next landmark. Banner landmark Flipkart visited. Content in.
What they did is they opened banner landmark and immediately went with content info landmark. So they should open the main landmark. They should open the complementary landmark and then have the content info landmark. And having all this structure inside a content info landmark is definitely confusing. And we can always raise a minor bug, very minor bug, saying that this is semantics is wrong.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Raghava, for ARIA, how do we suggest that this can be fixed with ARIA and no code level, other kind of fixes is required? I mean, how do we suggest and identify those kind of things?
So everything that is there within HTML, there's a replication in ARIA. Like you have p tag, which is paragraph. You have role equals to paragraph. You have a block quote tag in HTML, you have role equals to block quote. You have a button tag in HTML, you have role equals to button. So we will explore each of those ARIA attributes as and when we are progressing in the session. And ARIA is much more than just, trying to replicate HTML. You can create interactive, like you want a carousel, you can do it. You want a tree widget, you can do it. You want a grid table, that you can do it. You want to build a small desktop kind of application game within the web page, you can do that also. So it has roles, states, and properties. So we will explore each one of them. So because we started with headings, then we'll move to lists, then we'll move to images. So what I want to do is I don't want to introduce accessibility WCAG checkpoint by checkpoint or success criteria, and then take you through how to test and what understand the concepts here. So most of the internet is headings, links, lists, buttons, tables, images, and few other, like, you have all these form fields, radio buttons, check boxes, combo boxes. So other than that, we don't have any other. Most of the internet is built on these elements. So we're going to cover all these concepts from fundamentals. So you understand when you see that particular heading, this is a bug. Mostly I'll create some checklist and tell you how you can identify which success criteria it fails also.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Doc.
Okay.
Raghav,
Yes.
someone is means in the lobby, guest or lobby, something it is showing me.
Desktop list.
Pop-up.
Outlook, Google, WhatsApp, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft, WhatsApp, Microsoft, Calendar, A11Y Learning and Connect, Calendar, A11, calling indicate, meeting, recording has, link privacy, shared participants, close right pane, type a name edit, share invite button, attendees, Beulah, guest, meeting guest has context menu, level 1 waiting in lobby, 1 total, level 2 Monica, get, A11Y Learning and participant, share invite, attendees tree view. In this meeting, level 2 Rog, level 1 in this meeting, 14 total, level 2 Raghavendra Perry.
Okay. I don't know.
Online
Okay,
shopping.
thank you.
Okay.
2135.
Okay. So we have headings. We'll see how the headings work. And for that, so everyone uses different tools. If you who all are not familiar with HTML? Okay, I'm assuming everyone knows HTML here because no one is speaking out. What I'll do is I'm going to use my own website editor. It's easy for me to use it. You can use a notepad. You can use Visual Studio Code Editor. Utej is learning and using Visual Code Studio, so he is someone who can teach Visual Code Studio if someone doesn't know. But the easy way is a notepad. Maybe I'll put a basic HTML notepad and I'll share it in the group. I'm going to use a WordPress editor because it's easier for me.
Desktop. Outlook, Firefox, space. Taskbar. Desktop. Outlook, Firefox 1 running win, Mozilla Firefox. Expand DI, Gitl, blank, W, P admin, collapsed, new tab busy, button personalize new tab, clickable main landmark. Dashboard L, P, level 0 skip to main P, posts, P, page, all, add new. Elements list. Comments 9 comments in moderation, add new, visited 20, filter, act. Move to online shopping, add new page add new page. Add title edit focused T-E-H-E. Empty block /HTML. Custom HTML list item block, custom HTML document, HTML edit multi-line.
So I opened a HTML block here. This is like pure HTML only. And what we will do is like we'll create a H1, H2, and we'll also have some text that we will convert into headings using ARIA. Okay. And once we look at the code part, I'll also tell you how to identify the heading bugs when you come on a web page.
Less H2 2 1 greater G 1 less slash H 1 dot greater
Okay,
less P greater O D less slash H P greater less P greater blank less H2 greater A G space T less slash H2 greater blank blank.
Now what I'm doing is I'm opening a div.
Less div greater
Div means division tag. I'm opening a span.
less span greater G space 2 slash an greater less span greater heading 3 is this less slash span greater less P greater hello world less slash P greater.
Okay, so I'm going to update and we're going to preview this. Okay.
Out of main redo dot click save preview menu desk tablet 2 of 3 desk preview generating preview so, test page bullet.
So I'm using WordPress because I'm very familiar with WordPress platform and
link skip main landmark test page heading level 1.
Okay, this is the heading level 1 of the, as I said, whichever page you are on, that context of that page, generally the title of the page becomes the heading level 1. You don't have to worry if the title of the page is not heading level 1. But if the heading level 1 should give you an overview of what the content should be in the below, generally.
Heading 1 heading level 1.
So it says heading 1, heading level 1.
Heading level 1 heading.
I'm just pressing down arrow.
Heading level 2 heading not. Hello world. Heading 3 is this. Hello world. Content info landmark heading level 2 services. Main landmark hello world.
So the span tag
preview
did not come.
Clickable editor content region clickable add title edit multi-line clickable less span greater head less P greater hello world less greater blank.
Yes.
Line feed. Slash div greater less P less slash div greater. Out of dot click save preview menu button collapsed sub menu save draft saving draft saved busy test page bullet digital click legal head no next research main landmark heading not heading level 2 hello world heading 3 is this hello world content info main heading 3 is this hello world heading 3 is this hello world heading 3 is this.
You see the text hello world is this. Now we will convert this text
heading 3 is this selected
into a heading level 1. Okay. And
add new page
we'll call that
editor clickable HTML edit less P greater less span greater heading less P A greater space R O E equal quote A E A I G quote A dash L E V E L equals quote 1 quote less span role equals heading ARIA level equals 1 greater.
So I gave role and I gave level. If you see above here,
less H1 greater heading 1 less slash H1 greater.
It is simple. You give H1 and you close the H1 tag, but you don't have that.
Less P greater, less span role.
You already have a code base that you have built. You can't use the H1. So what you'll do, you'll say role heading and you give an ARIA level. ARIA level will define what heading level it gets. So we'll update.
Out of list read doc clickable save draft button. Saving unavailable. Test page bullet DigitalA11 busy. Test page bullet main landmark content info main landmark heading 3 is this heading not heading level 2 heading 1 heading level 1 heading not heading level 2 heading 3 is this heading level 1 Hello world. Heading level 1 heading 3 is this.
Everyone understood how role heading and ARIA level worked here?
Yes.
So I'm going to give it, I'm going to give it 6.
Add new page.
And we'll make it 6.
Editor clickable 8. Less p greater hello world less slash div less span role equal role heading aria level equals evel equal quote 1 quote number lock off number 6 out of lit unread doc clickable auto save preview menu but document tool save draft saving test page bullet busy test page bullet content main landmark heading 3 is this heading level 6 hello world heading level 6 heading 3 is this.
So
Any
Raghav, one
questions?
question.
Yes, Neha.
Yeah. So this ARIA role and the level you're giving, is it after or before the respective uh, coding is there? Like for this header, I couldn't get through that when you were typing. So it was like towards end of the code, or where
It
did
should
you
be.
add?
Add new page.
Okay, I'll show it to you.
Editor content region click. Edit test page.
Okay.
Clickable HTML. Block less slash d. Not in a table cell.
I'll slow it down a little
Rate
bit.
75. Rate 70. Less p greater hello world less slash.
So here I opened a div.
Less div greater.
You understood that, correct? I opened a
Yes, yes.
span. I opened a span.
Less span role.
I opened a span. The span
Hmm.
before the closing tag of the span, like
Less role equals heading aria level equals evel equal quote 6 quote greater.
before that greater, whatever is
Yeah.
being read for us, correct? Before that, you have to give it.
Got it.
Before the tag ends here, not. So if you give anything after this, it will go into the content area, correct?
Satish, excuse me. Someone like Pranita is waiting in the lobby. It's giving me.
Out Google Chrome WhatsApp Microsoft Teams WhatsApp Cal A11Y Learning calling indicator meeting calling recording link privacy shared content participants complimentary landmark manage permissions close right pane button more actions menu button close right type a name edit share invite attend Beulah level 1 in this meet level 2 Raghavendra.
No one is there in lobby.
I think she left again now.
Okay.
No,
If
I
anyone,
am there. Actually,
no.
left.
Add new page.
Okay, if anyone is leaving and coming back, let them.
No, Raga. Actually, I'm admitting those around waiting in long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Admit anyone. Don't disturb the flow of mine.
Less div.
Okay, so
less peak. Less span role equal.
So here I gave it before the span. That wherever that is there, Neha. And it is same. It is same. Either you have to give it within the div tag.
Less div.
Within the closing before this div tag. If you give it for this div tag, anything inside this div will become the heading. So you have to be very specific. See if this particular text here is inside the span, so you give it only for that text. Let's just think that
less p greater hello.
I have a p tag here and I want to make this p tag heading level 2.
Less hello. Less greater p greater space e equals quote h e a I g quote a r a dash l e v e l equals quote 2 quote greater.
See, I get the level 2 there. Let's see.
Out of lip to read doc click save draft but saving test page bullet did busy draft saved test page bullet clickable main landmark heading level 6 heading 3 is this heading level 2 hello world content main landmark heading level.
You understood, Neha?
Yes, got it.
Any questions from anyone on this?
Yeah,
I have a for better understanding. Yeah, can I proceed?
Yes, please.
Yeah, for better understanding, like I would like, as you mentioned, as we increase the font size of the headings, it will be not it's not accessible by the screen readers. So, what is the best way to use headings tags? That is, And the second question, we are used ARIA for. I'm very zero knowledge in ARIA using it. So we are used ARIA only for your P tags, right? Headings.
No, you can use it on div, span, p.
Okay, got it. Yeah,
See,
please. Go ahead.
ARIA is to build custom thing, correct? But it should be appended inside something that is already existing there. So you already have every, like if you take Angular or any of JavaScript frameworks, all the JavaScript frames are built with div and span tags. Most of them are div or span. So what we do is we generally use headings or any other, like you can use any of ARIA rules. There are about totally 70, 82 or 83, I think. Along with the new one, there are close to 98 or 99 ARIA roles, out of which we will be using mostly 20 or 30 that you'll use regularly. And we'll be learning all those in the coming sessions one by one. Like as and when the topic comes, I'll introduce it here. The goal is for all of you to go home, practice that very well. Read about it bit, do your homework on this thing. Now today you learned about two things. One is role heading and ARIA level. And you learned about H1, H2, H3. There's six, like H1 to H6. You want to give a H6 heading, use the H6 tag. As I discussed in my last session, HTML is must. You need to have a good understanding of HTML.
Yeah, got it.
And
Thank
coming
you.
to your other question, Utej, see the font size, when they increase the font size, let's just put it this way. Okay, now
Add new page.
I'm in this editor, correct? I'll put,
Yes.
okay.
Out of main landmark clickable editor content. Blank. Empty block. Start writing or type forward / to choose a block document. T. Paragraph block. O. S. E. O. G. T shows OSMPT Ajadong selected.
Okay.
Out of spelling error. Caps lock on. Caps T. A. I. A. E. A. G.
So I just put.
T. This is not a heading selected.
Okay.
T.
Now,
this is not a heading.
Let's just put it this way.
Block tools section. Paragraph menu. Move up button. Move down section. Align text section.
So I can bold this, correct?
AI section. Add animation menu. Change typography menu button. Collapsed sub menu.
And I'll do.
Make clickable paragraph. T. This is not a heading selected. Bold applied.
I applied bold. And what I'll do, I'll also change the
clickable head and footer code heading. Editor settings region paragraph heading level. Start with the basic building block of all. Heading level 2 button expanded styles. Button current default. Button info. Button success. Button warning. Button error. Heading level 2 color. Menu button collapse. Clickable button. Button collapsed background. Heading level. Menu button collapse. Clickable font size. Grouping font size. Set custom size toggle button not pressed. Typography options menu button. Size. Toggle button not pressed. Use size preset. Custom spin button editable blank. Use size custom spin button number lock off. 5051. Select unit combo box PX collapsed.
Okay.
Out of read doc clickable save draft saving test page bullet DigitalA11 busy. Test page bullet clickable link main landmark test page heading level 1. This is not a heading.
Whoever can see can tell if that is huge, that heading level. I gave 56
Yes, it
px.
is.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rao, can you press insert F?
Atkinson hyperlegible 38 pt very dark pale aqua blue on white bold.
Sorry, come again.
Okay, I'll slow it down.
Rate 60. Atkinson hyperlegible 27 pt very dark pale aqua blue on white.
27 pt.
This is not a heading. August, this is not a heading.
Okay.
Atkinson hyperlegible 38 pt very dark pale aqua blue on white bold. Blue on white.
You understood the difference? I can give 27 to the same paragraph, that one line, and everyone will think that is a heading.
Mm-hmm.
Visually, it can appear and function like a heading, But for screen reader
Correct.
users, semantically, it is not marked as a heading.
Got it. Got it.
Yes.
So how will you as a screen reader user identify this? Simple. When you navigate the page, okay, you can understand the relationship, correct? There's a paragraph, there's content here. You can read and understand that.
Yes.
Let's just search something on Wikipedia.
Navigation to expanded. Collapse. Google document busy.
Let's just
Search
say
line A
it's-
C C E I I L space K P E A busy. Clickable accessibility heading level 3 link. Clickable people. Clickable Wikipedia wiki project accessibility heading clickable accessibility link Wikipedia access.
Okay, we'll go
link.
to Wikipedia.
Accessibility Wikipedia. Main landmark accessibility heading level 1. Legislation edit link edit section. Head they.
So if you see all the paragraph is there. Below every heading, there should be a content that is related to the heading above. It can be links, it can be a button, it can be a form, it can be anything. If you think, there is something that connects this text and the text after that, or the content after that, and you also think it should be a heading, then it should be marked as a heading. See here, if you see.
National legislation edit link edit section. National heading. Various countries have legislation requiring physical accessibility which are enactment. List with 8 items bullet in the link Americans with disabilities.
You see that there's text, there is list. You understood, Utej?
Yeah. Yeah, Raghu.
Just let me check. I'm not mindful of the time. We have 5 minutes. And we haven't even covered anything in headings. So I'll hold here because I want to close on time. Good then, everyone have a good evening. Good night. See you all on Thursday.
If you like the video, do like and subscribe.